Hey guys, so I brought the panda back, even though you can't really see him right now. His face is like this way, but Panda is here. You can't really see it, but Panda. How about this Panda? I'm triple pandaed up, so now you have something cute to look at when there are no pictures to look at. So, yay! And Jared actually got me this panda for my 19th birthday, so it's kind of an old panda now, you know, because I'm kind of old. But anyway, enough of the panda business. Let's talk about some more of England. So we were just in London, and I'm probably going to be playing with the panda the whole time, but we were just in London, and we picked up a car at Heathrow Airport, which was complete madness, because if you remember, I told you last time, there had been the liquid explosives business, like possible liquid explosives from a crazy person that had halted, like, you know, or just caused all this problem with baggage and everything. And that had happened at Heathrow like 2 weeks before we were actually there. So it was still crazy, super crowded, which I'm sure it is on a regular basis, but this was just extra crowded with like craziness. And so we made our way to the rental car desk in the airport, and there was no one there, but there was a phone, and there was a note by the phone that said, if no one's at the desk, please call this number. And we were like, well, this is weird. And so we did what it said, and the people on the other end were like, oh yeah, you have to take such and such bus. We're like on the outside rim of the airport, like the car lot itself was out there. And we're like, great, we took forever just to find out where this spot was. Now we have to go to another spot. And so we decided we better take a bathroom break before we head out to, you know, who knows how long it was going to take us to get to the next place. And so Jared and I found an escalator and went upstairs, and we got stuck upstairs because we could not find an escalator to go back downstairs. I don't even remember how we eventually made it back downstairs. We must have found like some actual stairs instead of an escalator, but it was pretty crazy. And then of course Dodger and my brother were like, where have you been? But anyway, that was fine. Crisis averted. We didn't get lost and stuck upstairs at the airport forever. We made it to the car lot. We upgraded, or I decided to have us upgrade to an automatic transmission instead of a stick shift, because I didn't think about the fact that we were going to be also learning how to drive on the other side of the road, not just shifting with the other hand. And so instead of a beautiful Volkswagen Golf again, we got a 4-door smart car. Not the super short squatty ones, because those are only 2 doors, but it was a 4-door version. And at first we were kind of excited. We were like, ooh, we get to drive a smart car. But it was not a good car. I'm sorry if any of you like smart cars, but it was a pile of crap. Like, it kind of felt like we were driving a wind-up toy. And what's really funny is I've actually seen smart cars with the little windy thing on the back as like an accessory. It should have had one, and I think it might have actually run that way. It was so weird. I don't even know how to explain all the ways that it was weird. We just did not like it at all. But it was kind of fun driving on the other side of the road. Jared drove most of the time. I drove just a little bit. But he was kind of tripped out. We were all kind of that way, especially like if you're the passenger in the front seat and you're used to that being the driver's seat. And if you use your rearview mirrors like I do, like, or as often as I do, it was weird to like look up and you can't see the mirror because it's not facing you because you're not the driver, and to see other people, or there's like children where you're used to seeing a driver and you freak out for a second. You're like, ah, but it's the passenger. It's not the driver's side. But you know, it took about 45 minutes. I think we were okay. We did drive too slow in the fast lane because we realized that the fast lane is on the right hand side instead of the left-hand side like it is over here. So we got honked out a little bit, and all of us only had to yell, left side, one time for Jared because he kind of spaced out. And we were all 3 of us in stereo. We're like, left side, left side, left side, so we didn't die. And I only hit the curb like a couple of times because there's a lot of car on the left of you, you know, when your driver's side is on the right, and I wasn't used to that. But I think we both did a pretty good job. It was fun. It was an experience. We drove up to Derby, and the reason we stopped in Derby is because we met a friend in Rome. I don't know if you remember me talking about her, but we met her in Rome. She was in our room in our hostel there, And we had exchanged information with her and said, when we get to England, we'll come visit you. And we did. We called her and she said, come on over. So we went to Derby and she strolled around with us and, you know, kind of just gave us a little hometown type tour of Derby. And, you know, it's just a tiny little town. It was really cute. And she asked us if we wanted to watch a movie. And we were so excited about that. You don't even know, because we had been making a list for a couple of weeks at this point of movies we wanted to watch when we got home, and the list was pretty freaking long. And so when she's like, do you want to watch a movie? And we're like, yes we do! And so we went to the rec room in her apartment and watched Love Actually, which was actually number 1 on our list, and so we get to cross that off, even though there were 10 billion other movies on that list. So it was really nice to have a little touch of one of the activities we enjoy at home, watching funny movies. So we watched a movie, hung out with her a little bit, and then we split and we took off for a little town called Edwinstowe, which we were going there because our next hostel was there, and our next hostel was called Sherwood Forest. No joke, because it was in Sherwood Forest, and we were so excited. First of all, Edwinstowe was an adorable town, adorable, with like the cutest little store. We loved it. And then Sherwood Forest Hostel was like just a little bit outside of town, like half a mile or something, in the forested area, not surrounded, like there weren't trees all around it, but you know, like farmland type stuff. And it was so cute. Oh my gosh, we had the best time. My brother and I were super excited, and we were hamming it up for the cameras. You'll see. It was just, it was such a great place. We could have stayed there for a really long time because it was so nice. It was filled with families that were on holiday instead of crazy people, which we like visiting with all kinds of people, but it was just a nice change. It was a nice change to visit with like families with their kids. You know, you're just chatting with them in the dining room or whatever. We got a whole room to ourselves. We got a bathroom to ourselves. We had our own bathroom, which was awesome. And the kitchen was by far the best kitchen we had the whole time on the trip. It was like a professional, like, restaurant kitchen, I swear. Stainless steel counters. Oh, it was so great. Oh, we loved it. And we had some really neat conversations with people in the dining area. My brother talked to some lady that was trying to give him, like, her best argument as to why Robin Hood is real. He told us about it later because we weren't there. I mean, he was just sitting by himself eating or something, I don't know. And so he's like, you guys, this lady says Robin Hood's real and this is why. And I don't know, it was just really nice. And so we got an amazing night's sleep. We could have just slept all day. We're like, these beds are so comfortable, it's so warm, it's so quiet. It was so great. And the next day we did have to leave, but we ate breakfast and we made our lunch. We like packed ourselves some sandwiches and stuff. And the cutest thing ever, there was this little Irish lady with her, I'm going to say 10-year-old son, and they were in there getting their breakfast, and she noticed us like making tuna fish sandwiches or something, and she was like, hey, look over there, see them, they're making themselves some nice sandwiches. They don't just stop at McDonald's for their lunch. You should watch them. You could learn something. we thought that was adorable because we do eat healthy, we don't eat fast food, but I just loved it. Like, we were like, oh my goodness, we're an example. It was pretty cute. We felt happy about that. So we left, and we had to go pick up some train tickets in Leeds. Really uneventful. Picked up the tickets, moved on. Went to York. Now, we weren't staying in York. I don't remember if there was a hostel or not. We just weren't staying there. But we strolled around a bit, and York's it was a really cool place just to kind of walk around. There was lots of things to see, like sights to see. Most of them were not covered by our British Heritage Pass, though, so we were being kind of cheap, and we're like, well, let's just go to things that are covered by our pass. We want to use this thing. So we went to this tower. I don't know if it had an official name, just the tower that was in York, and it had great views of the whole city. I think we got at least one really good picture. And then after that, we took off for our next hostel, which was it was another cool one. We just had like really great hostels in the countryside in England. So Boggle Hole is the name of our next hostel. And we were excited to stay there just because the name was awesome. We were like, this place sounds great. And I had seen a few pictures. It's not like I didn't know what it looked like at all. But oh my goodness, it was so great. First of all, we had a beautiful drive to get there. There are just all these rolling fields they're all purpley from wild heather. and dotted with white. You see all the sheep from far away, all these great like stone fences, which Jared used to be a stonemason. He used to build natural stone walls, so he was like, ooh, look at that. You know, it was impressive. And so we drove down this really narrow, windy road, which was kind of nerve-wracking because the hedges, there were like these hedges and greenery on either side that were really tall, and then you had like blind corners. So we thought maybe we might get into a head-on collision with someone coming the other way, but we were fine. We survived. And we had a car park for our hostel, but it was next to a cow field. We didn't really care, but we were like, okay, park the car next to a cow field. And then we had to walk a quarter of a mile down this steep, narrow road to get to Boggle Hole, because Boggle Hole was on a little like cove on the coast. It used to be like it was some 1600s mansion that was converted. It was awesome. It was so great. You should stay in Boggle Hole and Sherwood Forest. Boggle Hole was just, it was so cool. It was so cool. So we walked down there, and we were thinking on the way down, like, we're going to have to walk back up this tomorrow with full packs. And that didn't sound too great. But at the time, we were just like, no, we're going to push that out of our minds. We're going to enjoy this. And the coastline is right on the North Sea. Looks a lot like parts of the Oregon coast, only our coasts aren't covered with so much excessive seaweed and slime. But it's okay. We didn't care. We didn't actually go walking along the coast. We did hike up. There's some cliffs right above Boggle Hole, right above the hostel. So there was like a little hiking trail. So we did hike up there and took some really beautiful pictures, great views. You can see the little town that's like just a little ways in the distance. I think it was called Robin Hood's Bay, which we didn't end up exploring it because we had things to do the next day. But the hostel itself was great. Like, you hike down the hill, and then you have to cross a little bridge that goes over like where the cove comes in. I don't know if the tide comes all the way in certain times of the year, but you go across this little bridge, and then you go to the hostel. You'll see in the pictures, and it's just this great old stone building. And we did have to share a bathroom in that one, but there was hardly anybody there. It was just so great. Oh, it was just, I don't know, I loved it. We love like being out in the country. We're all country people, and so it was just, oh, it was so great. I don't even know what else to say about it. It was just fantastic. And then super comfy beds again. Like, this is another place where we're like, do we have to leave? It's so great. I mean, we knew we had other cool things to see, but oh man, it was so fun. I would definitely go back there and stay like a week or something. Anyway, we couldn't stay a week. The next day we left, and it was a crappy hike back up the hill with our packs. We were like, we did a couple of pictures where we're like struggling, you know. I mean, it really wasn't easy to walk up there, but you know, we were exaggerating just a little bit. But we made it back up to the car and took off again. More gorgeous driving through the countryside, and we went to Whitby Abbey, which was not far away, and it was also like up on a cliff overlooking beautiful coastline, whatever. But this thing was covered by our pass, and so we were so excited because it was the first time we really truly got to like use our pass for something substantial. Because the tower in New York was just the tower. It wasn't anything like a castle or anything, right? So with our free admission, with our pass, came an audio tour, which was it was funny and awesome at the same time, because it was awesome because it was really informational. Funny because the things that you listen on are these huge black, it looked like a 1980s cell phone that you're listening on, and you like punch in the numbers of wherever, like you go to different spots, and it has like a reader board with a number, and you like push that number and you listen, and there are people reading, like they're telling you this information, but they're as if they're a character, like a historical character that used to be associated with the Abbey somehow, either used to live there or, you know, whatever, just something to do with the Abbey. And so they were like super dramatically animated, awesome voices. So it was just wildly entertaining at the same time of being gorgeous. Like, it was so beautiful. This Abbey was magnificent. Well, what's left of it anyway. It's not obviously not complete anymore. But we spent like 2 hours there because it was just really nice to stroll around. It was really peaceful. It was a nice morning. I think we went in the morning. It was just, so pretty. We had a good time. It was a nice little sidestep from just walking around cities like we had been doing. So that was pretty nifty. And after we left Whitby Abbey, we continued on and drove through the countryside some more on our way to Scotland, on our way to Edinburgh. So that will be another video. I feel like I've talked for a really long time. I always feel like I've talked for a long time, but maybe the panda will see you next time too. So see you guys later.